Imagine the physical sensation of starving to death while sitting inside a fully stocked grocery store. The heater is humming, the shelves are overflowing, but your brain has locked the doors. You don't eat, you don't move, you just sit there and watch yourself die by inches. You weigh the logic of survival against a fear so primal it shuts down your motor functions. This isn't a movie script. This is the autopsy report of Gary Mathias. Welcome to the American Dyatlov Pass, a case where the clues don't just contradict each other, they actively break the laws of human psychology. Take a deep breath. Can you smell it? That's the scent of pine needles mixed with gasoline. It's February 24th, 1978. 5 men are leaving a basketball game in Chico, California. They are happy, they are loud. They are going home to Yuba City to prepare for their own big game tomorrow. They have snacks, they have a detailed roadmap, and they have absolutely no reason to drive 50 miles in the wrong direction up a snow-choked mountain road called the Road to Nowhere. But they did. They drove until the snow stopped them, and then they did something even stranger. They got out of a perfectly working car and walked into the freezing night. Before we step into the snow, I need you to leave a signal for the algorithm. If you think you could survive a night in these woods, comment "survivor" below. If you think the mountain would take you, simply write "taken." Commit to your fate now, because in 10 minutes, you might change your mind. According to the Plumas County Sheriff's official report, the car was found perfectly functional. It wasn't stuck in mud, the tires weren't spun out. 5 strong men could have pushed it free in seconds. It had gas. The engine started immediately when police turned the key. So why did 5 grown men abandon their only source of heat and walk into a blizzard dressed in nothing but light jackets? The temperature was dropping to 20 below zero, and something was watching them from the trees. The night begins with aggressive normalcy. At 10 p.m., the boys stop at Bear's Market in Chico. They buy 1 Hostess cherry pie, a lemon pie, a Snickers bar, and a Pepsi. Sugary fuel for a drive home that should have taken 45 minutes. The mood is light. They are excited about tomorrow's basketball game. Gary Mathias doesn't need his schizophrenia medication until morning. The route home to Yuba City is a straight shot south down Highway 99. It's flat, it's well lit, it's impossible to get lost. But somewhere near Oroville, the driver makes a decision that defies 40 years of forensic analysis. He doesn't go south, he turns east. He drives the Mercury Montego away from the safety of the valley and climbs 3,000 feet into the Sierra Nevada wilderness. Why? There is no game up there, no friends, just snow, bears, and absolute darkness. Did they take a wrong turn? Unlikely. You have to make multiple wrong turns to end up on Rogers Cow Camp Road. This wasn't an accident. This was a destination. For days, they are ghosts. Until February 28th. A park ranger spots something metallic buried in a snowbank. It's the Montego. And this is where the American Dyatlov comparison moves from theory to fact. Because the condition of the car makes 0 sense. The car isn't stuck. The tires aren't spun out. 5 strong men could have easily pushed it free. The gas tank is a quarter full. The engine starts immediately. They didn't run out of fuel. They didn't crash. They just stopped. The snacks they bought? Unopened, sitting on the seats. Whatever stopped them, it happened so fast they didn't even eat their cherry pie. And then, the footprints. No running, no signs of struggle. Just 5 sets of tennis shoes, walking calmly into the deep snow. But wait, someone saw them. A witness. And his story adds a layer of nightmare fuel to this fire. Joseph Shanson, a man who drove up that same road hours earlier and got stuck. He suffered a mild heart attack. He sat there in pain, praying for help. Around midnight, he sees headlights. The boy's Mercury Montego pulls up behind him. Shanson thinks he's saved. He flashes his lights. He yells, "Help me!" He waves his arms out the window. And what do the boys do? They turn their lights off. Instant darkness. They kill the engine. They sit in the dark silently, just 50 feet away from a dying man screaming for help. Why? Shanson later told police he saw a woman holding a baby in the shadows. He heard whistling. Was he hallucinating from the pain? Or did the boys see something or someone else on that mountain?
Listen closely. Shansen survived. He walked down the mountain. But the 5 healthy men walked up. They left a working car. They ignored a witness, and they marched into a blizzard wearing nothing but basketball shorts. The temperature that night dropped to 20 degrees below zero. Hypothermia should have killed them in hours. You might think they died that night. That would be tragic, but logical. But the autopsy reports found later, they proved that at least one of them lived. For weeks. In a trailer filled with food he refused to eat.
Winter turns to spring. The snow melts, and the mountain slowly begins to give up its dead. On June 4th, a group of motorcyclists reach the higher elevation. They find a Forest Service trailer. It's 19 miles away from the abandoned car. The trailer was a shelter for hikers. It was unlocked, and inside, they find the body of Ted Weiher. Ted is wrapped in 8 sheets of wool, pulled tight around his head. His feet are frostbitten. He is emaciated, weighing just 120 pounds. But here is the timeline horror. Ted didn't die the night of the storm. His beard growth proves he lived for nearly 13 weeks. He was alive inside that trailer for 3 months, waiting, listening, dying by inches while the snow piled up outside. And he wasn't alone. Next to his bed, on a table, lay his wallet, his ring, and a gold watch. But what police found next to the watch breaks the human mind. They open a storage locker outside. It is packed with enough sea rations to feed 5 men for a year. They find a P-38 Army can opener. Gary Mathias, the Army vet, knew exactly how to use this. They had opened dozens of cans. They knew the food was there. They had the tool, but they stopped. They stopped opening them. Ted Weiher starved to death, sitting arm's length from a locker full of food. It gets worse. The trailer had a propane tank for heat. It was full. All they had to do was turn a single valve. They didn't. There were matches, there was wood. They burned nothing. They froze to death in a shelter designed to keep them warm. Why? Investigators coined a term for this: learned helplessness, a psychological state where you believe you are doomed, so you stop trying. Or was it fear? Was someone outside the trailer keeping them pinned inside? Imagine the terror of hearing footsteps on the roof, too scared to turn on the light, too scared to cook, just sitting in the dark, starving, while something paced back and forth outside. Ted was the only body in the trailer. What about the other 4? The thaw revealed the rest, and their fate was far more violent. Jack Madruga and Bill Sterling were found 11 miles away, or rather, their bones were found, scavenged by animals, scattered across the forest floor. Jackie Hewitt's remains were found by his own father, a backbone, a pair of Levi's, a skull frozen in the mud. It was a massacre by nature, but one body was missing, the one man who could have saved them, the survival expert, Gary Mathias. His tennis shoes were found inside the trailer. He had left them behind. Why? He took Ted Weiher's leather shoes. They were too big, so he padded them with cloth. He geared up for a final trek, and then he walked out into the snow. He didn't lie down to die. He marched into the oblivion. Did he try to get help? Did he succumb to the cold? Or did the psychosis finally take the wheel? So we are left with the impossible question: the why. In the 40 years since the snow melted, 3 theories have risen to the top. Theory number 1, the leader's fall. Gary Mathias. He was the only one capable of leading them through the snow. He was also the only one off his medication. Did he have an episode? Did he believe they were being chased? If Gary ran, the others, loyal to a fault, would have followed him into hell. Theory number 2, the local bullies. The families insisted the boys would never drive up that mountain unless forced. Did someone chase them out of Chico? A truck full of locals who saw 5 vulnerable men as targets. It explains the speed. It explains the wrong turn. It explains why they ran into the woods. They weren't hiding from the cold. They were hiding from people. Theory number 3, the witness. Joseph Shansen, the man with the heart attack. He was the last person to see them alive. Police cleared him. But ask yourself, if you saw 5 men vanish into the dark, would you wait inside your car for morning, or would you follow? None of these theories explain the trailer. None explain why 5 starving men ignored a year's supply of food.
The tragedy isn't just in the dying, it's in the waiting. For months, the mothers of Yuba City sat by their rotary phones. They left porch lights on, they cooked dinner for sons who were already skeletons in the melting snow. Jack, Bill, Ted, Jackie, Gary. They were innocent men. They didn't do drugs, they didn't look for trouble, they just wanted to play basketball, and the universe punished them with a mystery so cruel it refuses to be solved. The Yuba County 5 case remains open, but the file is dusty. The leads are dead, and Gary Mathias is still out there. Maybe he's a pile of bones in a ravine, or maybe, in some twisted reality, he's still walking, trying to find a way home. Ask yourself this: if you were in that trailer, cold, starving, scared, would you have opened the can? Or does fear actually rewrite your reality? Does it make food look like poison and warmth look like a trap? I want you to pick a side. Was it mental illness or was it murder? Go to the comments right now. Type Team Madness if you think Gary led them astray. Type Team Murder if you think they were chased. Don't just watch, debate. Share this with the most skeptical person you know and ask them, why didn't they eat? You have survived the mountain, but the archives are deep, and the next case is already thawing. If you think the snow is quiet, wait until you hear the ocean. 3 men, a lighthouse, and a logbook that speaks of a storm that never existed. Click here to enter the lighthouse. Join Terra Paradox, or stay in the static. Because remember, bones don't lie, but the cold keeps secrets forever.